Hello my dear students, I hope you are doing well and as you know I am Ujjwal and we are here to talk about beer today. So as by definition goes, beer is an alcoholic beverage made by brewing and fermenting malted barley and some other cereals as well, with hops added to flavor and stabilize it. Now what are the ingredients which are used in beer manufacturing process? There are 5 main ingredients which are used for beer manufacturing process. That is water, cereal, mainly barley, hops, that is humulus lupulus, yeast and additives. The details of all the 5 important additives and ingredients used in beer manufacturing process have already been given in the PDF. So if you learn it and properly read it thoroughly, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask in WhatsApp or by phone. Most importantly, the yeast which is used in beer production are Saccharomyces cerevisiae and Saccharomyces carbogenesis. And the most important thing which we are coming now is beer manufacturing process. Mind you, this always comes in the exam, so please study it thoroughly in the PDF which I have already given it to you. So let's see what beer manufacturing process is. So first we have to screen the barley. Okay, barley is received and then screened, and next what we have to do is we have to do steeping. Steeping is what? The water which helps germination of the malt in 3 days. Next we have kilning, which is the green malt is then dried on floor and roasted in kiln to stop further germination. Next is miling. Miling is done after kilning. After kilning, the dried and roasted malt is milled in a coarse powder called grist. Then we do mashing. Mashing is the grist is sent to mash tun with hot water at 65 degrees Celsius. Next comes lautering. The mash is heated for few hours to extract the soluble materials from the grist. Next is brewing. The liquid is now known as wort, W-O-R-T, wort, which is boiled and dried hops and sugar. Hops, humulus lupulus, and sugar. The spent hops are then removed by hop back. There are 2 things which comes into place. One is hop jack and one is hop back. Now hop back is something where you are removing the spent hops, and hop jack is what you are left with. Next, it is cooled by paraflow. Paraflow is like flowing the liquid at 15 degrees Celsius, and then yeast is added for fermentation. It is then matured and it is pasteurized for 3 to 21 days. And it can also be sold as draught beers, and for lagers it needs another 20 to 24 weeks. Then we do racking into casks and we package the bottles in cans, kegs, barrels and casks. This is all about beer manufacturing process. There are other optional steps as well. That is, one is fining and one is priming. Fining is basically, it is a brightening agent which is added to clear and brighten the beer. For example, isinglass and seaweed is used. And for priming, the solution of sugar and hops is added to develop the beer. Now there are mainly 2 types of beer, ale and lager. What happens for ale and lager is that when you are using a cask and when you are adding the yeast for fermentation, the top of the cask actually ferments first, and then the bottom of the cask gets fermented. So ale is basically the top fermentation and lager is the bottom fermentation. Ale is fermented at a higher temperature of 15 degrees Celsius to 25 degrees Celsius and fermented at lower temperature of 5 degrees Celsius to 9 degrees Celsius in case of lager. Ale has a shorter fermentation, short maturation, more hop flavor and generally higher percentage of alcohol. And on the other hand, lager has got long fermentation, long maturation, less hops flavor and generally lower alcoholic percentage, that is 3.2 to 4%. Basically, when we are talking about ale and lager, ale is something which is premium beer we can call, and lager is not so kind of a premium beer. Generally what we consume in our daily basis is lagers. Okay. Few brand names of ale beer are Boddington's, Ballantine's, King of Ales, Provisy. A few examples of lager are Heineken, Budweiser, Carlsberg, San Miguel, etc. There are certain instructions which should be kept in mind while making or manufacturing beer. That is, pile, which is small wooden peg or stopper, should be used for controlling to ensure quality of the beer and control the pressure inside the cask. Tapping should be carried out 24 hours before it is required, and high temperature fluctuation may spoil the beer. Bottled beer should never be exposed to sunlight, and deposit of yeast in the pipes and dispensing units and equipment should always be removed. Adding stale beer to the fresh cask beer should not be happening, and exposing the beer to heavy fluctuations of temperature should be avoided at all cost, and it should be stored in low temperature. Uncleaned or poorly cleaned pipes should not be used at all. A term which comes called flat beer. Flat beers are basically poor or faulty spile control, having a soft spile while a hard or firm spile is required. When the beer is stored at a very low temperature, you get a flat beer. And if the beer is served in a greasy glass, you get a flat beer. And poured and left in the glass for a long time also makes the beer very flat, because the carbon dioxide escapes with it. So this is all about beer we are talking about. So if you have any problems, you look at my PDF and we will get back to you as soon as possible. You can, again I am telling you, you can call me up anytime if you feel like, and you can also text me. I'll give you the answers in which you have got doubts. Thank you.